Hi guys, Dom here, back with another weekly vlog. I'm trying to keep it up, do something different rather than just writing articles all the time. I hope you enjoyed the past few, had some good positive responses. Not tons of views, but that's not why I'm doing this. I want to test myself, challenge myself, and so on. I'm going to do something a little bit different this week, and rather than focus on one topic, look at a variety of different things. I've got some League of Legends stuff in there, some YouTuber stuff, and some general esports stuff as well. So yeah, let me know what you think. But before I get into it, just want to say a message. Sad news I've just read online about the popular YouTuber Etika, who did a lot of content around Nintendo stuff, Smash, things like that, who sadly passed away. Very sad. I think he put out a video, sort of suicidal thoughts and things like that, the other day, and his body's been found. And yeah, not a nice way to start a video, but you know, puts things into perspective. Sometimes this kind of stuff is, you know, it's really sad to read. And yeah, just wanted to put that message out there first. So moving on to the video. This week, I think like the main story that's happened the past few days, I think it happened today. Did it happen here? Yesterday. We've had Renault Vitality have won the Rocket League Championship Series Season 7, beating G2 Esports. And the reason I want to highlight this is because if you don't know, if you're not aware, Vitality have a 16-year-old UK player called Scrub Killa. I think his real name is Kyle Robertson. That's it. I remember learning about Kyle a couple of years back in one of the Insomnias. I think he won Insomnia with his team, or came close to winning. I'm not fully sure. I don't follow Rocket League that closely, but you know, he was 14 back then, 13 or 14. I remember thinking, wow, that's really young. And I wanted to write about it at the time, and I just didn't get onto it. I was so focused on League of Legends. But to see him go so far in such a small space of time, such a short space of time, is fantastic. He's 16 years old and he's a world champion. He's from Scotland, and just fantastic to see. And I really like this article from Jacob Wolf at ESPN. 16-year-old Scrub Killa boasts skills and confidence beyond his years, and he absolutely does. You know, he's sitting beside his 21-year-old teammates. You know, it's fantastic. And I just want to say congratulations to Vitality, to Scrub Killa, and their manager Gregan as well, because I know Gregan does a lot of great stuff for the Rocket League and esports community, and he's done stuff with the British Esports Association as well, which I really appreciate. He attended our school and college finals at Insomnia a couple of months ago, and has been to a few of our events to help inspire young people. So I couldn't be more than happier. I was very, very happy for those guys, and that's a great story. It's great to see, you know, these esports champions emerging, the esports talent, more and more esports pros coming from the UK. When I set Esports News UK up 3.5-4 years ago, we didn't have many UK pros at all. I think when I set it up, Ryan Hart was still playing in Street Fighter, and he was probably the most decorated UK player, or one of the most decorated in Street Fighter. And since, you know, we barely had any pro League of Legends players. I think we just had Kassing, because this was before Maxlaw and Alfari went from the UK scene to the LCS, or LEC as it's known now. And we've also seen casters reach the big stage as well. Vedius, Medic, you know. Sometimes it's good to stop and take stock of what's happened, you know, and look back at how far esports has gone, how far it's come in the UK, and to see the different sort of talented players and people emerging is fantastic. So congrats again to Vitality. Next thing I wanted to talk about is I know it's not esports, but KSI and Deji, two big British YouTubers, just quarrelling online, doing reaction videos to each other, responding, and it's got. I don't want to touch on it too much, but for me, I've watched KSI since he was. I'm not a huge fan, but I can respect what he does, and respect the fact he has tons and tons of fans, and he's an entertainer at the end of the day. And to see them go from doing a lot of videos together, reaction videos, fun games where they play FIFA together, and silly games and things like that, to the situation they're in now is really, again, it's really sad to see. This big spat. If you don't know much about it, I did look for some articles online. There isn't much there. You'd have to go back and watch KSI's videos and Deji's videos. Probably don't bother if you're not interested in them, because it's a little bit depressing. Basically, what I got the impression of was that, Deji is the younger brother. He feels like he's probably been in KSI's shadow a little bit, and wants to do his own thing. I mean, he does have his own channel. It's become a meme that he's unable to reach 10 million subscribers or whatever. They've had a big falling out, and it's got to the point where it's just really sad that they clearly don't get along. I think they both want to, but they rub each other off up the wrong way, and it's just sad to see brothers. People say. Some people say money can't buy happiness. Some say, you can get damn close. I think, there's a perfect example of, I'm sure both KSI and Deji have, made a decent fortune from their YouTube careers and the other things they do, music and so on. And I'm sure they'd probably trade a lot of it for happiness, because they're clearly not happy, and that is clearly affecting their mental health. Deji has come out and said he's had mental health problems. I've seen friends and family, brothers who've really seriously fallen out at a similar age, late teens, early 20s. And, when it's on a public stage and there's millions of people watching, I think that makes it even worse. And, I just hope they can... I don't know if they can resolve it, but I hope they can get to the point where they're more... civil with each other, and move on from it. I was going to write an article on it. I thought it's not really esports, and I could end up waffling, so I'll chuck it in this vlog. And other things I wanted to talk about. So XL's bad start. I love the guys at XL Esports. Obviously they're representing the UK. And it's great to see a UK organisation in the LEC at the top level of League of Legends in Europe. But the past 3 weeks, the latest LEC split, has been the worst possible start for XL. They're bottom in 10th position. They've got 6 losses out of 6. And just wanted to highlight it. How can they turn things around? Looking at their roster. Well, first of all, we'll look at some of the changes they made before this split. They brought in a new ADC, Chardin. I don't actually know how to pronounce that. Sorry about that. And they also brought in another mid laner, Mickey, I believe. I don't think... No, I didn't add it. This was before. That was after I wrote this article. They brought in Mickey. And you'd think they've got a decent roster. Let me just bring up their website rather than looking through an article. I should have had this already, shouldn't I? This is all new to me, this screen sharing stuff on my vlogs. You can see they've got a nice mixed roster, 11-man roster now. I did have 10-man, and they've got it so that they can chop and change players into the lower tier UKLC, the UK League of Legends tournament, and the LEC, the top European one. They brought in a new ADC, and they brought in Mickey, a new mid laner, and it hasn't worked for them. They have some great players, players like Kasing, super experienced, their team captain, and I know I did an interview with him a few months ago. He was really unhappy with their performance last split, and I can only imagine what he's sort of his thoughts are now, a little way into this split. Cadrell, great up and coming UK player, has been performing in the LEC for a while now, and they've got a good mix of youngsters like Jessica and the more experienced talent. But it's not happening for them. In the first 2 weeks, they've had the roster of Expect, Cadrell, Mickey, Hyanan and Kasing. And unfortunately Mickey's come in. He hasn't been great. 1-3-1 the first game, 0-5-2 the second game, 5-2-1 their game against Fnatic on the weekend, which they took the lead early on. I haven't watched all the games. I will put my hands up there. I haven't seen all the LEC matches. I've had so much on recently. Hopefully I'll be able to talk to you about that in a future video. But I've read that they had a really good start against Excel and they threw the lead, and that's a real shame to see. They had 3 Infernal Drakes and lost. That's a real shame. And they made a change in the third game. They changed the bot lane. They brought in Mystiques and Jeskla. Mystiques played really well in the UKLC in the split earlier this year. So I don't know what else they could do differently. You can keep changing the roster and keep changing it until something sticks or you get a bit lucky. Or you could, they could have played this same game again with the same roster and they could have won. If they'd done a few things slightly differently. They didn't have a lot of deaths in that game at all. 7 deaths is, to Splice's 3. That's not much at all, is it? Really? I mean, they didn't have the objective control. They had massive gold deficit. What could they do differently? And I know that Excel have changed a few other. They've changed quite a lot of their coaching staff as well. They brought in David Lim and Tim Cho, and they got rid of Jarge and a few others, Unlimited, and they also got rid of Ferndog, who is obviously like a long-running coach in the UK scene, and he's with another team now, which I'll move on to in the UKLC. Ferndog moved to Barrage. Sorry, I don't know off the top of my head. I've got so much on these days, and I don't follow League of Legends as closely as I once used to. But I do. I'm looking forward to the upcoming UKLC, and that's the sort of last thing I wanted to talk about. Really, the summer split is approaching. We've got 9 teams. We've got 2 new ones coming in Vision and Demise. So that'll be interesting to see how they do. They're replacing Bulldog and Darkspawn, who of course they were relegated. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. We've had some of the rosters coming in. As usual, there's tier lists and things like that coming out on Twitter. I tend to just have a look at them, let people get on with it. It's all speculation and everything, isn't it? It's all people's opinions. But the UK scene loves to see all that stuff. And Fnatic Rising are probably favourites again. They won last split. They've kept their roster largely the same. Their support has left. Yes, I didn't write about that actually. I think I wrote about it in this article where Dan, their jungler, got called up to the LEC first team as a sort of secondary jungler, which is great to see. And who was their support? Targamas, that's it. He's gone back to studies and might be back in the future. So Prosfair is stepping up as the main support. And it'd be interesting to see how they do. Excel, of course, I've spoken about some of their roster. And Kasing was switched out in a recent game, so maybe he could be playing in the UKLC again. Envision, I'm looking forward to seeing how they do as a new team. Phelan, I think, have made some interesting changes. They've got Nutri, who's a real experienced League of Legends player and now strategic coach. So great to see how she does with Phelan. And I think those guys did okay last split. There were, there were 3 or 4 teams clearly at the top of the last split: Excel, Fnatic, Diabolus. I think it was Enclave as well that was doing well, and the rest were sort of all mid-tier, and then there wasn't much separating them from the bottom. So it'd be interesting to see how these guys do. Diabolus haven't announced their roster yet. At least I haven't. They've got a coach. Yeah, no, they've just announced a coach, but I'm sure that more news is coming. Barrage have made a number of changes. They've got Governor as a top lane sub. They've got Monkeys from Diabolus as jungler, and a few other changes in there. And they've really been pushing Jakamaka as their ADC, who's returning. And it's good to see a familiar name in the UK scene. I understand Jakamaka's been around for quite a while, and it's good to see, he's potentially reaching his prime now. So, it'd be good to see how those guys do. Obviously, they've got Ferndog, as I mentioned earlier. Got quite a big coaching staff there through me. Be good to see how they do. Enclave, I think it's interesting. They brought in Scood, who beat them with no ego at Insomnia 64. And I said, if you can't beat them, sign them on Twitter. So be good to see how they do. Big fan of players like Raisins. I think there's a great support. And then we've got Eminem, who I think they've kept a lot of their players the same. And they brought in Yusa from Diabolus. And Only Angel they've brought back. He played for them back in 2016 and 2018, I believe. And then Demise, newcomers to the UKLC. Be interesting to see how they do as well. I think I've said that a lot, haven't I? Be interesting to see how they do. Of course it will, Dom. That's a lot of the stuff I wanted to talk about. And then a bit about myself, what I'm doing. I have to say, guys, I'm getting very hyped for World of Warcraft Classic. I play World of Warcraft. I'm an RPer. Yes, I'm a geek. No, I don't do any of that weird stuff. But I love RP, like D&D style, because you create your own storylines and it's like you're in a book. And I'm fortunate enough to be in a guild. There's only around 10 of us. Small guild, very close-knit, super fun. And I keep that all separate. I haven't shared with anyone who my character is. I might do at some point because I've been writing a book based on my character's backstory. Yeah, I'm a geek. I've been doing that for almost a blooming year now, so I want to get that finished this year before the little ones arrive at the end of the year. And my old guild are getting back together, and I got invited to a Facebook group the other week. I was on the Thunderhorn server back in the day, European server, PvE, and the gang's getting back together. I'd like to play on PvP this time, but I'll see wherever they go, I'll go. It's great to be back with them. Fantastic social guild. We did raiding as well, I could have joined a raiding guild if I want that was a bit more serious, but I didn't want to because they were a great bunch. We had people of all ages, all abilities, and it was I had a lot of great memories playing World of Warcraft Classic back at uni, vanilla back at uni, and they shared with me this video that I forgot that I made, which is quite embarrassing. 3,000 views. I mean, that's more than my videos get now, which is really sad. So it's embarrassing to watch this video back again, but nice to see it shared in the group, and I look forward to playing with those guys again when Classic comes out. If anyone wants to join me, we're going to be on Thunderhorn or another server. I'm sure I'll update everyone. I'll probably play. I'm Horde, but I'll play Alliance again. Because that's what I played in vanilla, and I'll be a rogue. I played nothing but rogue. I love the rogue class. I love the stealth and everything, so I'll be doing that. In terms of other stuff going on with me, I'm all focused on trying to get a bigger car for when the twins arrive later in the year, and we think we found something, but they're so expensive, and I had to look around a lot to find a decent used car, something a bit bigger, like Toyota Verso, something like that. And yeah, I'll hopefully have some kind of reveal video for you guys soon. Nothing major, just a fun little thing I've been working on for a while. Maybe another month or so until that's ready, I'd say. But yeah, enough from me. Let me know what you thought of this video, guys. I don't know what this is becoming, a weekly random vlog thing. I would like to do a podcast at some point. I've reached out to someone, and I would like to do a two-person podcast. I think that'd be really fun to dissect the news, both big global esports news and also UK stuff, League of Legends stuff, and have a bit more of like personality and banter. And it's just myself talking into a camera. There's only so much I can do. It's good to have two people, I think. So I'll see how that goes. Let me know what you think. If you thought it was rubbish, give me a thumbs down. Thought it was good, thumbs up, and so on. And I'll see you next week, guys. If you have any suggestions for content, just give me a shout. I'm always around. My DMs are open on Twitter. Cheers for watching.